Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-day, my, oh my, what a beautiful Tuesday. Welcome back. And we're just kicking off hour two here, and lots to talk about. We're going to mix it up in just a little bit with Democrat Josh Kravitz and Republican Robert Hornak. Talk about both perspectives and try to meet in the middle there. But to kick off hour two, I'm joined again by Frank Morano. Man, how are you?
I am doing just great. Thank you.
Well, that's good to hear. Frank, I want to read you something because this is like so crazy. This is like one of the oldest stories of all times, right? I've been talking a lot about, two sets of justice, store owners are getting locked up for opening, but looters are not getting locked up for burning down stores and all this other stuff. I've been doing this whole tale of two cities narrative, And this quote right here is from the Charles Dickens classic, Tale of Two Cities, okay? It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom, it was the age of foolishness. It was the epic of belief, it was the epic of incredulity. It was the season of light, it was the season of darkness. It was the spring of hope and the winter of despair. We had everything before us and nothing before us. We were all going direct to heaven, and we're all going direct the other way. In short, the period was so far like the present period that some of his noisiest authorities insisted on being received for good or for evil in the superlative degree. And if you think about it, like you could put images of what's happening in life right now over a book, passage from the, 1700s. It is really just a tale of two cities. When there's light, like maybe we're going to get out of this thing, but there's darkness. The minute we can get out of this thing, there's looters and rioters burning down cities. You know what I mean? And half the people are out there talking about keep your faith in God, and the other people are talking about, going to hell in a handbasket. It's like so fitting, if you ask me.
Well, it's certainly, our friend Rich Hoffman is a student of the generational theorists Strauss and Howe, and they theorized that all of America goes in 80-year cycles. And, every 80 years, we essentially have a once-in-a-lifetime crisis, right? And if you were to pick the three most important events in American history, what would they be? Well, if you were to name them now, what would they be?
I'd say 1776, probably.
Right. So the Revolutionary War, whole era.
I would say the Revolutionary War. Right. I would say, either the Industrial Revolution or, the equal rights, the civil rights movement, when women and minorities, were voting and stuff. And then as of now, I would say, probably the 2008 banking crisis almost took down America.
I tell you what my three would be, and I suspect many of the viewers would agree with me. The Revolutionary War, the Civil War, and World War II, right? So all of those three events in American history are about 80 years apart. And if you go 80 years from from World War II, where are we? We're right here. And what are we doing? We're facing a once-in-a-generation, a once-in-a-century style pandemic. We're facing the worst economy since the Great Depression. We're facing record levels of debt not seen since World War II. And now we literally have race riots in the street with police precincts being set on fire and surrendered to Antifa. So some people have theorized that maybe we're at this crisis turning point. And there are people on the left and on the right, so it's not a political thing, that subscribe to this generational theory that Strauss and Howe have put forth. And we saw how the greatest generation helped us deal with that crisis of World War II. I hope the people that are in charge now, this generation of young people, is up to the task to get us through this present crisis.
Well, we will see. We're up to the task to mixing it up right after this with Josh Kravitz and Robert Hornak. We take a quick break. Back after this.